Hey guys, I'm Paul. I'm with Chantel today. Hi Chantel.
Good morning.
Today we are going to be talking to Matt Tinsley. Hey Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Hello, my pleasure.
Can you just tell me, Matthew, what your conditions are?
It's Asperger's syndrome, but of course that's now become AS, autistic spectrum condition.
Is autism and Asperger's, is that the same thing? Can you just explain that?
Asperger's is on the so-called milder end, although many people I've spoken to have said it's not mild to the person who has it.
I can see that you're wearing a sunflower lanyard.
Yes, indeed.
You obviously wear one because you've got one on. How has it helped you?
I use it at work mostly, and because you get a work lanyard, but I sort of replaced it with this one. And I started getting asked by people at work, what's this about? And I started talking about it, and it sort of spread the word.
Do you think the sunflower is needed in society?
Definitely. I wish it was more widely known. I really do. I know it's used in many places, but I feel like we'd like to be adverts on the television and whatever, and radio. I'd like to think there'll be a time when it's treated like as obvious a visual cue as crutches or a white cane or a hearing aid. Exactly the same thing.
So I know that you have written a book. Can
Yes.
you tell us what it's about?
It's about Asperger's syndrome and alcohol, and the link between addiction and using drink or drugs. Well, in this case, it's drink to cope with life on the autistic spectrum, I guess, generally. Before I took a drink, I guess, depending on the situation, I'd be intensely anxious, and I also wouldn't be very coherent. Often I stammer and stutter and wouldn't be able to get my words out, couldn't think straight. I'd freeze, actually. Was
it the Asperger's that caused you to drink, do you think? Or do you think it was something deeper rooted? Do you think that, why did you drink?
Partly because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And also to fit in with my peers. And also because, it's a way of socializing, which I don't find groups very easy, but once you're in the pub and you've had a few drinks, then it's all fine.
How did it affect your life and relationships? I mean, you said you've been admitted to hospital a number of times. Has that impacted your health?
Yeah, I've got a damaged liver. I have to go back to hospital every few months or every 6 months for a scan and also for blood tests.
So it's taken a toll.
It has. When I was discharged from hospital for the second time after I nearly died, they said, listen, you've got to go somewhere or you're going to die. You are going to die. So I said, yes, straight away.
You have to hit rock bottom, don't you?
Yeah.
Before you're able to reach up for that help. And that sounds like that was your rock bottom. I mean, there was nowhere else to go from that hospital bed, was there? You had two choices.
I didn't feel comfortable reaching out to any alcohol services for a long time until, near the very end. And I ended up going to rehab for 16 months, which was a fantastic experience, and that changed my life. And that's while I was in rehab, I got the diagnosis. I asked my GP, can you refer me? And he referred me to somewhere.
Is this a day-to-day challenge for you? Is this something that you have to monitor all the time still?
Up until last year, I would have said no. But there was something about the lockdown at a certain point. I think it's when the second wave came. And I just thought, I just got to stop this way I'm feeling. It feels like really doomsladen. And then it just spiraled from there. Yeah. But I sort of managed to stop, and I'm okay at the moment.
That's great to hear.
Do you have any advice for people, such as yourself? You didn't get your diagnosis until you were 44, but from what you've been telling us, I feel that you've really found it a very positive experience.
I just wanted an explanation, and I'd found I'd done all this research and I could just see myself all over it. And so I wanted to get it official. You know, I wanted to know, am I thinking, am I making this up? You know, am I imagining it? So to actually have it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And it's actually been an immense help. I would say it was life enhancing. It's made my life so much better. I think the biggest thing is I don't beat myself up inside anymore about finding things difficult or asking people for help. As before, I used to bulldoze through and feel really awful. Well, I think the diagnosis immediately made me feel that's not my fault. It's not my fault. I was very big into self-blame for not being able to do things. And that's a real toxic thing to do.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Matt. Confronting your addictions is a brave undertaking, and it takes a lot of strength and inner determination. I'm sure that this podcast is going to be helpful to so many people going through similar experiences and perhaps not understanding how to deal with them.